Once upon a time, for over 1,000 years, people believed that the Earth was the center of the universe. This idea, called the geocentric model, was championed by ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle and Ptolemy. According to this view, everything, the sun, the moon, planets, and stars, revolved around the Earth in perfect circles. But in the 1500s, a quiet and curious Polish cleric named Nicolaus Copernicus started to question this cosmic order. After years of studying the heavens, he came up with a daring idea. What if the Earth wasn't the center at all? What if the sun was at the center, and the Earth, along with other planets, orbited around it? This idea became known as the heliocentric model, the sun-centered system. It was revolutionary, not just scientifically, but philosophically. It meant that Earth, and by extension humanity, was not the special center of the universe. Copernicus published his ideas in 1543 in a book called On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres. At first, few people noticed, but slowly his model began to attract attention. Thinkers like Galileo Galilei, Johannes Kepler, and Isaac Newton would later expand and prove the model with telescopes, mathematics, and physics. Of course, the idea was controversial. The Church, deeply committed to the Earth-centered model, resisted it. Galileo, for example, was famously tried for heresy. But the truth could not be silenced forever. Imagine over time, the Copernican model triumphed. It launched a scientific revolution, reshaped astronomy, and taught us a humbling truth. Imagine we are part of a vast and beautiful universe. Know its center. After Copernicus died in 1543, his heliocentric theory remained mostly an academic curiosity. Many scholars still clung to the old geocentric view because it was safe, familiar, and backed by powerful institutions. But change was brewing. Enter Johannes Kepler, a German mathematician who took Copernicus's model further. He discovered that planets don't move in perfect circles, as previously thought. They move in ellipses. This was a huge breakthrough. It made the heliocentric model more accurate than ever, but proving it to the world was still a challenge. Then came Galileo Galilei, an Italian scientist with a telescope. In 1609, he pointed it to the sky and saw things no one had seen before. There was mountains on the moon, moons orbiting Jupiter, and phases of Venus, all of which supported the sun-centered model. But Galileo's bold support for heliocentrism brought him into direct conflict with the Catholic Church. He was put on trial by the Inquisition and forced to recant his views under threat of punishment. Though he said the Earth stood still, legend says he muttered, "And yet it moves." Despite the danger, the truth was spreading. A few decades later, Isaac Newton arrived on the scene. Using mathematics, he described the laws of gravity and motion, showing how planets orbit the sun due to a universal force. Newton's work tied together the ideas of Copernicus, Kepler, and Galileo into a unified theory of the cosmos. The Copernican Revolution wasn't just about astronomy. It changed the way humans think, about knowledge, authority, and our place in the universe. No longer was truth based solely on scripture or tradition. It had to be tested, observed, and proven. By the 18th century, the heliocentric model was accepted throughout Europe, and a new era of scientific inquiry had begun. Copernican's spark had ignited the scientific revolution, which in turn lit the way for the Enlightenment. And all of it started with one man who dared to suggest that maybe, just maybe, the Earth wasn't the center of everything. Science, technology, and society. Thank you for watching. Hope you like our video about Copernican Revolution. Adios.